What's going on, guys? Today I'm taking you with me to practice again. Actually, I already took you to practice, but I forgot the cord that connects my receiver to my camera, so I had to use my shotgun mic, which is great, except it records all kinds of background sound, and there was leagues going on, there was a lot of music going on, and so there was so much background noise, I had to use a background noise reducer, which you'll see in some of the clips coming up here, and so the sound quality isn't the best. So I decided I'm going to re-record the intro here for you today using the better microphones now that I'm back at home. So I decided I wanted to take you with me to practice because last week I took you with me and I showed you some things I was working on, specifically in trying to stay behind the ball. And I got a really good response to that video. So I've been working on it. It's going fairly well. It's feeling pretty natural. I'm not perfectly all the way under the ball yet. Still is a work in progress, but it feels pretty good. I'm ready to move on to the next thing that I want to work on. And for me specifically, it has to do with timing. And more specifically, it has to do with my second to last step right before I go into my release. If you watch some videos, which we're going to take a clip here, or take a look at a clip here of me bowling here, and what you're going to see in this video of me bowling is that right before my last step, I am actually up on the ball of my foot. And so I don't step in that second to last step with my heel first. And that's something that has always bothered me, and I feel like it affects a number of things. So what I want to try to do in practice today is actually elongate that step a bit and actually get my heel down. Now, it's not just as simple as elongating step and getting the heel down, because that's going to make the step a little longer and it's going to throw the timing off a little bit. So we have to incorporate timing into this as well. And I thought the best way to talk about this is to actually show some videos of some pros and talk about the timing of the steps. So the first one we're going to take a look at here, I'm using Brad Miller as an initial example because Brad Miller, I think, just has a very smooth, very natural game. And what you're going to notice here in a typical five-step approach, well, I should say for starters, you all need to know that with me as a coach, I always count backwards when I talk about steps. And this is because when I'm coaching multiple people, if I've got a room of some four-step approach people and some five-step approach people, I don't want to have to explain to them that you're going to push away on one, but this other group's going to push away on two, or you're going to, on your fourth step, this is what's going to happen, but for you, it's the third step, this is going to happen. If I count backwards, knowing that steps 4, 3, 2, and 1 are all going to be pretty much the same, that gets everything aligned. So whenever I refer to a five-step approach, I will be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, with the push away being at 4. And so when we look at Brad Miller here, who has a very prototypical release, I would say, you can see that as a five-step approach, he takes his first step and then he pushes away on 4. So he steps 5 and then 4 push away. As he comes down 3, that ball starts to pass his leg and starts on moving upward toward his backswing on number 3. As he gets to the two-step, the two-step plants as his backswing reaches its peak. And this is where the timing is most important. And you can see that he reaches that peak so that as he gets into his final slide step, his downswing is beginning as well, and he's creating that power. Just about any pro you watch is going to do that same thing. So we're going to watch a quick video here of Chris Prather, and you're going to know very similar. Now with Chris Prather, also five-step approach, he starts to push away at 4. So he takes step 5, push away at 4. As he gets down to 3, it's already past his leg, it's starting moving its way upward. And then as he gets to 2, he's reaching the peak of his swing, and then it's all flowing forward. I often talk about when it comes to timing, the reason why I love doing one-step drills for timing specifically is because no matter where you start with the ball, whether it's up high, at your waist, way down low, no matter if you're 5-step, 4-step, 3-step, whatever, it doesn't matter if you take long steps, short steps, if you are fast, if you're slow, if you have a high backswing, low backswing, no matter what it is, the end goal is we're all trying to get the timing on that last step, on your power step, sliding in through your release, and the downswing to come together. So as everything's going back, no matter how different somebody might be from somebody else, as long as that timing matches where you're hitting that peak in your two-step, and then you drive into your slide step and going forward, that's what we're going for. So for me, going back to my release, I have to take that short little step where I'm on the ball of my foot on that two-step because I have a short backswing. if I had a higher backswing, I would be able to take a little bit longer steps. So, and one of the things I want to point out is that you'll notice when you look at two-handed bowlers, oftentimes, like Jason Belmonte, for example, you'll notice takes a stutter step. And the reason for this is that he does not have a very high backswing because it's a two-handed approach. He's got a very low swing. And so because it's not coming back very far, his timing is going to be quicker with his hands, so he's got to get his feet quicker. To get his feet quicker, as he's going from the three-step to the two-step, he has to stop his two-step sooner because he's reaching the peak of his backswing in what a two-hander's backswing is. He's reaching that peak sooner, so he has to stop that two-step at that stutter step point, plant, and then go into his power step. So by me elongating that step, my timing is now going to be off because I'm lengthening my time that my feet are going a little bit. So I have to do something in order to counteract that and actually help my timing get back on time. So what I'm actually going to focus on is starting with the ball up a little bit higher on my push away, which is going to accomplish two things. Number one, it's going to give a little bit more time for that ball to come down. And then it's also, because I'm starting from a slightly higher position, it's going to get me a little bit higher backswing. Not a drastic difference, but enough that it's going to give me just enough extra time there to where I can take a little longer step in the two-step. And so with me having a little bit lower backswing, I'm not as low as a two-hander, obviously, so I still step in front, but I've established this bad habit of stepping onto my toe and keeping very short, compact steps in my three and two steps. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Again, the sound quality isn't super awesome, but hopefully it sounds good enough for the rest of this video. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button too if you haven't done that already. Like, comment, all the good stuff. But let's take a look at what I'm doing here in practice.
So again, hopefully you guys can still hear me given the distance I am from the mic. But I'm going to start with a 19 ball just so that I can kind of slow-mo show you what it is I'm going to try to work on. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to still try to keep my hand behind the ball or under the ball like I've been doing, so I don't want to lose that part of my practice. But as I come through, I'm going to take a step as I get to here. So basically in a four-step approach, I'm going to be going 4, 3. So as it passes here is 3, I'm going to be taking the step as it's passing so that this comes at the same time. Currently, like I said, I'm stepping way up on my toe and then pushing off, and I want to eliminate that. So what I'm going to try to work on is starting here, and as soon as the ball starts to pass the hip, I take the step into here and get my heel down. If I can get my heel down, get up, and then throw. So what it should be with my hopefully now, the ball's going to look like junk going down the lane, but I'm not focused on that right now. I'm focused on just my steps and my cadence and what that feels like. Doing that again, it's really weird and uncomfortable because my timing is a little different. But if I take the step here, and my focus is getting a heel down on the step, not going here. I know the step is here, and then push in. I'm trying to heel step into it. All right, let's get some rear view angles. Once I've got that down, now I'm going to practice this a whole bunch more times, but to fast forward just real quickly here, I'm going to try to take all of my steps, and I'm really going to try to focus. Everything else might look really weird. What I'm going to try to focus on is when I get to the two steps. So as a 5-step approach, I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, and when I get ready for the 2, I'm going to focus on elongating and making sure my heel hits first. All right, that first one felt incredibly odd. It felt like my timing was off because instead of that short step, I elongated the step. And I think what happened is my arm started to come down before I was fully ready. So I'm going to have to work on quickening my feet or changing the timing of my push away or trying to go to a higher back swing. So these are all tactics I can try to implement to get my timing in the swing delayed or the timing of my feet a little bit faster so that that timing comes back so I can take that long second. Okay. So what I did there is I remembered I wanted to bring the ball up a little bit. So I didn't bring it way up to here, but I brought it from here to here. In doing that, I did two things. Number one, it's a little more time that it has to take to get down. Number two, it's going to allow it to get just a little bit higher back swing. Not a lot, but just enough to allow my foot from going from here to going to here. So that extra little length on my two-step, it gives me that extra time to be able to do that. All right, so quickly, here's what I'm going to do for comparison. I'm going to throw a normal shot that I would do before this new release, and then I'm going to show the new release again, or the new steps, and do a comparison. It is certainly not perfect. It's a work in progress. So my foot was a little wobbly at my slide point, but not bad. So work in progress. We'll keep throwing shots and keep working on that. I'm going to go back to some two-step drills and get used to that feeling, and then bring it back and do some full steps again. After 20 or 30 times of doing the two-step drill and getting used to planting or feeling that two-step, I'm going to go back to bringing in some full steps again, concentrating again mostly on that last step. Other parts of my game might look off, but we're going to focus mainly on healing that step, starting with the ball a little bit higher in my push away so I get a little higher back swing, give myself slightly more time, elongating that two-step, and seeing how smooth we can do that. Start a real game. See what I can shoot. Felt myself too low again. Catch that, stop, and set. That one felt good. I noticed on the last two shots I wasn't thinking about my two-step, so I'm going to have to go back and watch those on video to see if I hit toe first or heel first. That one I really paid attention to it. So I got on the heel first, threw right where I wanted, and it's gonna take some getting used to how to throw the spare ball with this. about 240-ish or so, I think, if I calculated that right. Which, you know, isn't bad for something brand new that I'm trying. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress, a little slow. Is my swing perfect? No, not at all.
All right, so thank you all for bearing with me through the sound difficulties that I had in that video, but hopefully you still got some value out of it. Like I said, this is a work in progress. Everything that we're doing is a work in progress, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing what I go through as I'm trying to continue to enhance my game. So if you like this video, hit that like button, comment, hit that subscribe button. All that helps the algorithm, and we greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
How'd you get to be so cool?